Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. He paced back and forth. The sterile smell of antiseptic and the muffled voices of nurses barely registered in his senses. The truth was clawing its way to the surface, demanding to be set free. It was a confession he hadn't planned to make, certainly not today, but the ticking clock of Finn's surgery brought everything into stark clarity. Finn was minutes away from going under the knife, trusting his life to a team of professionals, but Liam? He had to trust himself with the decision to speak. And once the words left his mouth, there would be no going back. Hope arrived at the hospital just as Liam sat down again, trying to calm his nerves. She noticed the tension in his face immediately and gently placed her hand on his shoulder. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Liam looked up, his eyes filled with the weight of everything he hadn't said. "No," he admitted, barely above a whisper. "There's something I need to tell you." Hope blinked, startled by the seriousness in his voice. "What is it, Liam?" He hesitated. "How do you confess something that could shift everything? How do you explain that the man about to go into surgery might not be the only one whose life would change today?" Liam swallowed hard, forcing himself to stay grounded. "It's about Steffi," he said finally. Hope tensed. The name still stirred too much in her heart, too much uncertainty and history wrapped into two syllables. "What about her?" Liam's voice wavered as he confessed. "I kissed her. Before all this, before the surgery was even scheduled." It was one of those moments where everything felt like it was spiraling, and we were both overwhelmed, and it happened. Hope pulled her hand away, her eyes narrowing in a mixture of shock and hurt. "You kissed her. It wasn't planned. I didn't go there to do that," he insisted, "but it just happened. I'm not trying to excuse it. This whole thing with Finn, the shooting, Steffi losing her memory and then getting it back, I think I got lost in all of it. I didn't mean for it to happen." Hope stood there, processing his words. It wasn't just the betrayal of the kiss, it was the timing, the emotional confusion that came with it, and how Liam had held on to this secret while acting like everything was okay. "So why are you telling me this now?" she asked, her voice quiet but edged with hurt. "Because I couldn't let today go by without being honest. What if something happens to Finn in surgery? What if things never go back to how they were? I didn't want to carry this with me, not another minute. You deserve to know. You always deserve to know." Hope took a few steps away, trying to collect herself. The pain was raw, but more than that, she saw how deeply Liam regretted it. It wasn't just guilt on his face. It was fear, not just of losing her, but of who he had become in the midst of all this chaos. Meanwhile, in the pre-op room, Finn was being prepped for surgery. He had no idea of the storm brewing just outside. He trusted Steffi's love, trusted Liam's support, and believed that once the surgery was over, he'd get back to a version of life that made sense. But the truth was, life had already changed in ways he couldn't see. Steffi sat beside Finn, her hand clutching his. She was doing her best to be strong, to give him hope and calm before he was wheeled into the operating room. But even she could feel the distance Liam had been projecting lately. It was subtle, an extra glance, a certain pause when they spoke, but it was there. Back outside, Hope tried to steady her voice. "Do you still love her?" Liam closed his eyes, not expecting that question but knowing it was the most important one. "I love you," he answered quickly. "That's the truth. I'm not in love with Steffi. What happened was a mistake. I got pulled into the past because everything around me felt like the past was happening all over again. But I know where my heart is. It's with you. It's always been with you." Hope studied him, searching his face for the truth. She wanted to believe him, but the doubt had already taken root. This wasn't the first time Liam had wavered, and she feared it wouldn't be the last. As the nurse stepped into the waiting room to call for Liam, Finn had asked for him to come in before the procedure. Hope and Liam were left in emotional limbo. She gave a silent nod, signaling that he should go. Whatever else needed to be said could wait. Liam entered Finn's room with a heavy heart. Finn smiled, his usual charm intact despite the circumstances. "Thanks for coming," Finn said, reaching out. Liam shook his hand, nodding. "Of course. You've got this, man. You're strong." You'll come through just fine. Finn laughed weakly. That means a lot coming from you. Thanks for being there for Steffi too. I know this hasn't been easy for her. Liam's eyes darkened for a brief moment. Guilt. Uncertainty. All of it flickered across his face. Yeah. I just want what's best for her. For all of us. Finn was too tired to read into it. His eyes began to flutter closed as the anesthesia took hold. Within seconds, the doctors were wheeling him into surgery. Back in the hallway, Liam leaned against the wall, his breath shaking. He had done it. He had confessed. But at what cost? Hope didn't leave the hospital. She sat alone, thinking through everything. Her mind flashed to the years of back and forth between Liam and Steffi, all the heartbreak, all the promises. She had forgiven so much, believed in Liam so many times. Could she do it again? Steffi eventually joined her, both women sitting silently as the minutes stretched into what felt like hours. The tension was thick, though unspoken. They were two women bound not just by children and shared experiences, but by the same man. One had been kissed. The other had been betrayed. And yet here they were, waiting together for the man they both cared about in different ways. The surgeon finally emerged with an update. Finn was stable, the operation had gone well, and he was in recovery. Relief swept over the room, momentarily overshadowing all other emotions. Liam returned to the waiting area, the news hitting him like a second wind. But Hope didn't rush to embrace him. She stood, her arms crossed, her expression unreadable. We're not done talking, she said firmly. Liam nodded. I know. Steffi looked between them, realizing something significant had happened in her absence. Her gaze settled on Liam, and for a second, their eyes locked. She didn't need words. She could feel it. Something had been exposed. Liam's heart pounded again, not from fear this time, but from the knowledge that nothing would ever be the same. The confession had been made, the truth laid bare. Now came the consequences, raw, unpredictable, and real. And somewhere, down the sterile hallway, Finn slept peacefully, unaware that while his life had just been saved, another was quietly unraveling. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.